For many people, getting up in the morning and going to work is not something they want to do. It's something they have to do. So how would it change your life if you loved going to work every day? Nina Spencer joins us. She's the author of Getting Passion Out of Your Profession. There's a cover of the book with a very nice heart on it. I'm sure a lot of people would aspire to that kind of sentiment. Nina, how do they find it? How do they get it?
Well, as a matter of fact, these days I find that at least 2 or 3 or sometimes even 4 times a year in many different newspapers and magazines, there are articles that suggest that very few people are getting passion out of their profession. Perhaps as few as a quarter, 25% or less. So for many people, it's a matter of going back to your early days love of the work you're doing, how you felt about it in the very beginning when you first found out that you got the job, not the other guy.
It's analogous to people who enter into relationships in some ways, that honeymoon period, and yet people who have been in long-term marriages, they don't ever try and get back to the honeymoon, but they do find different ways to rejuvenate their marriage. How do you do the same in your work?
Well, some of the things that I talk about in my book, Bruce, the 8 different strategies, will help you get back to it.
For example?
At the very least, they'll help to remind you of things that you know how to do, or at the very most, perhaps that they'll help you do things that you've never done before. Talking about positive thinking, positive words, positive sentences, remembering your self-worth, regardless of whether you have a very humble frontline position or the highest level job in the organization, trying to remember what it is that you bring to the table and how that the organization wouldn't work as well if you were not there.
How do you counteract messages that do not support that inherent self-worth? If you've got a boss who treats you poorly, if you're a frontline customer service agent, you can bet that you're going to get treated poorly by customers.
There will always be times, for sure, when the people that you have to interact with daily are pulling down your energy.
What a gracious way of saying it.
Pulling down your energy.
Scream and rip the face off.
You ask yourself, am I inner controlled or outer controlled? Why am I doing this job? What is my purpose? And it has to be bigger than just the moment.
What if it is as simple as the money? There are a lot of people out there who work for the paycheck.
Sure enough, and fine enough, that's clear. Get clear about your purpose and know why you do what you do. And if your answer is, I do it for the money, to support a lifestyle I want to support, to put the kids through school or activities or whatever it is, if it's for the money, be clear about that. So when you have the difficult boss, when you have the difficult customer, you can remind yourself, I do this for the money, I do this for the money, I do this for the money. Push through it and know why you do what you do.
Humor. I'm not surprised to see that being a critical element, because I know the people that I enjoy being around are typically the ones that have some levity that they bring to the workplace every day. When you're beaten up, bruised, not feeling great about your work, how do you find that?
Well, in some jobs it's certainly harder than others, for sure. Make sure that you protect your energy from what I call those crusty crabbiolas. There are definitely people that we have to interface with in the workplace.
Sounds like a character on Anne from Avonlea or something like
crusty
that.
Crusty crabbiolas. To protect your energy and make sure that you find ways that are not necessarily expensive, day in and day out. Who are the people that you can interact with who are fun, good to be around? And then, of course, sometimes there will be things that you may ask your employer to champion that may cost some money, but not necessarily lots of money.
You exude this. That is probably how people would describe you. Very briefly before we go, were you always this way?
I do think that I have showed up in this world a little bit wired this way, but I do believe that all people can reach inside and find it. I think that most people probably start off this way, and then all the stress and the worries and the strains of whatever happens to them in life can kind of put the clouds in front of the sun.
Yeah.
So I call it getting passion out of your profession, because I suspected that it was there in the beginning, and then it's about getting it out again. Let's get away from all the stuff, the stress or the boredom, whatever it is that's causing you not to have it, and find it once again.
And go digging. Nina Spencer, thank you very much. Nina Spencer, Getting Passion Out of Your Profession. That's it for Workopolis. Stay tuned for more ahead on Report on Business Television.